Childcare centers are amazing places. They're full of laughter, learning, and, well, a ton of incredibly strict safety rules that most of us never even see. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most important ones, blood-borne pathogen safety. So let me just ask you this. What do you think is the single most important rule in a place like that? Is it about sharing? Making sure everyone gets a nap? The real answer might surprise you.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with toys or nap time. The most important rule is all about protecting everyone from a danger that is completely, totally invisible. Let's dive into what that really means.
All right, so we're talking about the very real risk of getting exposed to some serious diseases right in the middle of everyday normal childcare activities. See, the risk isn't in some rare, crazy emergency. It's hidden in the most common moments you can imagine. Changing a diaper, putting a Band-Aid on a scraped knee, helping a kid with a bloody nose, or even when toddlers do what they do and bite. And here's the most important part. You can't tell just by looking at someone if they carry an infectious disease. That is exactly why you need a rock-solid system in place.
So, what exactly is this invisible danger we're talking about? Let's meet the main culprits we're all trying to guard against.
The official term is blood-borne pathogen, or just BBP for short. All that really means is these are teeny tiny microorganisms like viruses that live in blood and some other body fluids. And they can make you really sick if they get inside your system. Okay, now this is where it gets really interesting. We're looking at the three big ones. You've got hepatitis B and C, both attack the liver, and then HIV, which goes after the immune system. Now, you'll notice only Hep B has a vaccine, but the column that changes everything for a childcare center is that last one. How long can it survive on a surface? 7 days. Let that sink in for a second. The hepatitis B virus can stay alive and infectious on a changing table, a doorknob, or a toy for up to a full week. That incredible toughness is what makes it the single greatest risk in this kind of environment, way more than the others that die off pretty quickly outside the body. Now, this is so important because it helps us separate the facts from fear. These pathogens are only spread when infected fluid gets a direct highway into your body, like through a cut in your skin or by splashing into your eyes or mouth. They are not, and I mean not, spread by casual stuff like hugging, sharing toys, or someone sneezing. This whole safety system is based on science, not panic. So how in the world do you fight an invisible enemy that you can't screen for? Well, you do it by adopting one core philosophy, a golden rule of safety. And this is it. This is the heart of the whole thing. Straight from OSHA. It's so simple but so powerful. You don't guess. You don't assume. You treat everything with the exact same high level of caution every single time. This philosophy has a name, universal precautions. It is the ultimate better safe than sorry approach, and it's not just a good idea, it is required by law. It takes all the guesswork out of the equation and makes sure every kid and every caregiver is protected. Okay, so that's the big idea. But what does it actually look like when things get real? Let's break down how this philosophy turns into a step-by-step action plan. So here's the playbook. Notice the order. First thing, before you do anything else, you gear up. Put on disposable gloves. Then, you tend to the child, always. They come first. After that, the cleanup is super methodical, but pay close attention to steps 5 and 6. You peel your gloves off inside out, so all the germs get trapped inside. And then, you still wash your hands really well, because gloves aren't magic. They're just one layer of protection. And check this out, another perfect example of this system in action. If a kid's clothes get blood on them, the staff doesn't try to rinse them out in the sink. Why? Because that could splash and spray those invisible germs everywhere. Nope. Instead, the clothes get sealed up in a plastic bag to be taken care of safely at home. It is all about containing the risk. But what happens if, even with all these precautions, something goes wrong? What if someone does get exposed? Well, you better believe there's a clear, urgent protocol for that too. All right, if a caregiver gets blood or another fluid in a cut or into their eyes or mouth, the response has to be instant. Step 1 is to wash or flush that area immediately and thoroughly. But step 2 is the absolute most critical part. You report it to the director right away. There is no, I'll do it later. You do not wait. And this is why. Time is everything. The medical treatments that can actually prevent an infection from taking hold work best in these incredibly short windows. For HIV, you're talking about a 2-hour window. For hepatitis B, it's 24 hours.
Waiting to report isn't just breaking a rule, it's literally slamming the door shut on your best chance at medical help.
So you see, this whole system, all these strict protocols, they're not built on fear. They're built to create confidence. They create this amazing circle of safety that protects the kids, protects the caregivers, and honestly protects all of our families and the whole community. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If this is the incredible level of care and precision that goes into handling a simple scraped knee, what other invisible safety systems are out there, quietly working in the background, protecting you and me in 100 different ways every single day? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.